Death Valley is now partially open 10 weeks after Hurricane Hilary dumped a full year's worth of rain on the national park, and tourists are now being greeted by some stunning new features.
Jeff Cornish spoke with Nicole Andler, Chief of Interpretation and Education for Death Valley National Park, about what's left behind by the storm.
California State Highway 190, which runs through the middle of the park and hits a lot of the highlights in the park, is open. There are patches where the road was completely washed away and the pavement was lost. There are dirt and gravel patches, so we do ask people to follow the speed limit and to slow down and drive with caution.
And how rare is it to get a lake in Death Valley? We understand there's a flat floor here to part of the valley floor, and part of that has been submerged with a temporary lake. So how much longer do you expect this lake to be remaining there, and how rare is this?
So it's not very common to have a big lake, especially as big as this one got after the remnants of the hurricane came through. And we don't know how long it will last. If we get a lot of desiccating winds, or if for some reason we get a heat spell, it could shrink more quickly. But the weather has been really pleasant and very nice recently. So the lake is still here. Whether it'll be a couple of weeks or a couple of months, we don't know.
Is it a few feet deep, or I assume it's relatively shallow with a flat bottom, but how deep is this thing?
That it's probably just a few inches deep out there, because right after the storm, we were able to get out there to sort of check out conditions, and some folks were able to get out there with a kayak to explore the area, and now you couldn't get any kind of boat out there.
What other changes are visible in the park? Did some vegetation kind of green up, or did flowers spring to life? What's the situation there?
Well, as far as wildflowers go, it's not the right season. We saw a few popping up here and there after the rain, but it's just not the right time of year for them to be out and blooming. So we didn't see a big bloom following the rain. We did see, like, some of our creosote bushes and the mesquite trees, they did sort of have like a fresher, greener look to them. And there are some places on alluvial flans where you do see a little more green out there with some small shrubs. And anecdotally, we don't have the research on this, but anecdotally, we feel like we're seeing some new starts to creosote bushes that are well adapted to the desert here in Death Valley.
Well, very interesting talking to you about all this. Nicole Andler, Chief of Interpretation and Education for Death Valley National Park. Thank you so much, Nicole.
Thank you.